Hello engagement community. The purpose of this screencast is to show you how to make a simple email. So let's go ahead and get started. I am already logged into iModule, so the first thing I'm going to do is go take my cursor under email, go ahead and click email home. The email that I will be creating to show you is an event happening in the Roanoke Valley. The title is How Safe Are Virginia Schools? This is a free event, so I thought this would be a good example, and then in another screencast I will show you how to make the registration form for this event. So let's go ahead and get started. Since this is only a single event, I'm going to go ahead and just use an email that I've already created kind of as my base template. So I'm going to just go ahead and type in clubs under email history and go ahead and search for it. Since this is a single event, I know from creating this that the Charlotte email is also a single event, but if I wasn't sure and I wanted to preview it, I'm going to click this little arrow next to the gear and hit view email. And as you can see, it is a single event, so that's going to be a great starting point for us. So I'm going to go ahead and click right next to that gear again, and this time I'm going to hit reuse email. So give the system a second to load. And once it does, there we go. The email name, we're always going to have clubs here since that lets us know that it is a club email. The next step is going to be the club name. So this is going to be Roanoke Valley. And just to double check to make sure I have the title right, that's the wrong tab. It is How Safe Are Virginia Schools? So I'm literally just going to go ahead and copy and paste that right into here. And the last thing I'm going to do is put in the date, and that's 6/5 of 14. 6/5/14. Two very important things here. Make sure the email category is always UVA clubs. If you use a club's email, it will be there by default. And the next thing is go ahead and get rid of the notification email. I don't think you're going to really need to know when it sends. If you schedule it appropriately, you will see it in the drafts. The from name, it's not going to come from me, so I'm going to go ahead and type in UVA Club of, and then put the name there. In this case, it's the Roanoke Valley. And I needed the UVA Club of the Roanoke Valley. And if you don't have a club, or if it's an area that doesn't have a club, you can put University of Virginia or UVA clubs. The from email and the reply to email are by default going to be uvaclubs@virginia.edu, and that is perfect. Since I don't know a lot about the email right now, my subject is only going to read template. I'm going to come back and fix this later. If you are feeling very advantageous, go ahead and make something up now if you feel pretty good about it. But like I said, I always like to come back and do this as my last step. So go ahead and hit save and continue. And as you can see, there is our template. The way you kind of delve into this is by going and clicking this top pencil, and it's edit content. So once you click that, you're going to get a pop-up screen to appear. Just like you did the first time, go ahead and click the pencil again. And here we go. This is just kind of a default header that I include in most of my emails. Feel free to change it. You don't need to do it if you don't want, but if you do want to change it, go ahead and click on the image, click Image Manager, and the images that you can use are, once it loads, under Engagement here and Header here. And the only thing you need to do is make sure that if you want to choose, say, a different images, let's pick this clubs. Go ahead and hit Properties. Make sure these two are locked, and just make the width 600. But we're not going to do that, so I'm just going to exit out, but I just wanted to show you how to do that. So the first thing we are going to do is change the title. Obviously, it's not Cavaliers Care for this event. This event is, again, the wrong tab. How Safe Are Virginia Schools? So there are two ways you can do this. You can go ahead and type right over what's here. How Safe Are Virginia Schools? And get rid of the rest. Or, if you're familiar with HTML coding, you can hit the HTML button, find the header, and since I've already used it, but then you can just go ahead and copy and paste that new header, or the new title, excuse me, right there. But since I've already typed it, we're good to go. The only thing that I did do that I did not point out is I align the center. And that's just click right in front of the H or whatever the first letter may be and go ahead and center it up. Now, 9 times out of 10, the clubs will provide you a pretty good description of the event. So I get that straight from this event submission request form. So I'm going to go ahead and maximize this, and I'm just literally going to copy, and I will paste it here momentarily. But since I have this description copied, I'm going to go back into my, where'd you go? Here it is, right into my email. And this is where I am going to use the HTML. I'm going to delete everything except the first sentence. And then now I know I'm looking for the UVA Club of Charlotte in my HTML. So if you don't know where it is, you can go ahead and just type those first few words, and it'll appear, and I see it there. So I'm just going to go ahead and highlight the entire sentence. You can go ahead and delete it, and then just hit Control-V to paste your new content in there. And when you click back onto design, you can see that the text is there. So the next thing to do is just go ahead and proof it. I'm going to hit pause and proof out the text just to make sure it reads correctly, and then I'll come right back. Okay, after reading the text, it seems like it's pretty solid. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a little formatting changes just to space it out, make it a little easier on the eyes to read. So I try to find a good kind of stopping point for one train of thought, and go ahead and hit enter after the next. Since this is a pretty specific and well formatted email, or the text I should say, I'm going to just only put one return in there just to space it out a bit. And then at the end, I always try to put some fluff like we look forward to seeing you there. Another thing you can put in there that I found is very helpful is people want a contact name. People are going to have questions. So a good thing to do is just go in here on your submission request form, find the name of the person and his or her email. And I cheat. I open up a notepad, just copy and paste them both right in here. Again, you don't have to do this, but I like to do it just so I know I'm getting everything right. So I just copy paste it in there, then I copy them both. Another little trick I do is I put this contact, so I'll put questions with the symbol, and then I'll just go ahead and HTML type in questions so you can find it. I hit one space, I space it out, just go ahead and paste that in there, and then throw some parentheses around there and a period. And this part of the email is done, and we will proof this later. So the next thing to do is obviously change the date. This event takes place on 6/5, so to check that date, I go to the calendar, and the 5th is a Thursday. So I'll just go ahead and type in Thursday, June 6th. My time is 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. We'll change the image in a second, but I want to get the address. So I'm going to copy and paste the address on it, which you can find under event location. And this is another place where I like to do the HTML coding just so I don't type it incorrectly. So I just delete everything but first. You didn't see that there, but there. So then now I'm just going to come back into my coding, find Braswell's, clear it out, copy and paste again. This is a good example of what happens when text kind of runs over. As you can see here, this one is not going to all fit on one line, so I just kind of space it out the best I can. And then just make sure you hit return after the venue, the street, and then obviously the city and state will be the last thing you type in. So let's go ahead and change this Cavaliers care picture, excuse me. I don't know if there's really a great image, but I do have a few images that come to mind that I could use. So just go ahead and select the Cavaliers Care image, hit Image Manager, let the screen load. And by default, it should take you to where that Cavaliers Care image lives. But if it doesn't, you can find the images under Engagement and Body. I think for this particular email, I'm going to use the Virginia state flag. I think that will be a pretty good representation. Sometimes the hardest part of these emails is finding that image. So there it is right there, flag of Virginia. I'm going to go ahead and click Properties just to see the size. I like to keep my images between 140 and 160 pixels. I'm just going to pick a random number. I'm just going to pick 145. Like I said, make sure that's locked. It should resize for you automatically and hit Insert. So I like the way that looks. I'm happy with that. So that looks good. The last thing in the actual email body I'm going to do is click on this Register button. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and hit Hyperlink Manager. This right here is what I call a friendly link, or that's what it is called. Go ahead and copy and paste that. Hit OK. Go ahead and open up your notepad if you want. And paste that in there. And then with this, go ahead and delete everything that was there up until that virginia.edu/. With this being a Roanoke Valley event, I'm just going to go ahead and type in RV for Roanoke Valley, and then I'm going to type in Virginia Schools. And that's going to be my new friendly link. So go ahead and select that, copy it, going back to the email, click on this Register, and this time go ahead and remove that link. Click off of it, click Register again, Hyperlink Manager, go ahead and clear out the URL, paste it in there, hit OK, and you are done. So now you're going to hit Save Version, wait for that to go ahead and do its thing, hit Save and Load Content, and as you will see, there is our email. The final thing you're going to have to do in the footer is this. Go ahead and click this pencil right here, and this is going to take us to the club-specific links. So go ahead and hit the pencil once the pop-up box appears. And you're going to go ahead and unhyperlink your club and the Facebook link. And then sometimes you'll have to do it for Twitter, other times you won't, but I'm just going to go ahead and check. And this is Who's Network, which is kind of the default, which is perfect. So we can leave that alone. I have the UVA Club's homepage already loaded, so I'm going to just go ahead and click Find Your Network, go down and find the Roanoke Valley Club. There it is. I'm going to go ahead and copy this URL here, and that becomes your club. So go ahead and hyperlink, or select your club, highlight it, Hyperlink Manager, and I didn't get it there because the target says none, but go ahead and do it one more time. I'm going to be a little more careful this go round. There's your club, that appeared. So go ahead and clear out the URL, paste it in there, and click OK. The next thing I'm going to do is hit the Facebook link. There it is. Go ahead and copy that. Come back down here. Like us. Hyperlink. There, I got it again. Click OK. And then just to be sure, I'm going to check their Twitter page. And they also use Who's Network, which is perfect. So then I'm going to go back here. I'm going to hit Save Version. And save and load content. And hopefully by now you have your creative juices flowing. And I'm just going to go ahead and copy June 6th, because that's going to be the start of my header, or my subject line, but you don't have to do this. Just go ahead and hit email details one more. Go ahead in your subject line. I'm going to clear it out. I'm going to put in the date. Then I'm going to put join us for a discussion on the Safety, Virginia.